let's get me the billing. I'm not going to billing until I'm medically clear. Y'all are not about to take my money and then tell me, haha, you thought. And then he said anesthesia will be in here in a little bit. So I'm like, we're on a roll. Like, we're getting ready to start. Negative. Negative. Hey y'all, you seen the title of the video. Your girl is back again with another story time. If you're new to my channel, hey girl, hey. And if you're a returning subscriber, I don't have to say anything because you know what's up, I know what's up, we know what's up, and that's on what? That's on what? That's on period and Mary Had a Little Lamb. As y'all can see by the title and the thumbnail, today's video is going to be about my sketchy Miami surgery experience, aka why my people thought I was getting my organs stolen. That's how long it took for them to get information, aka why I haven't been on YouTube, like why I haven't been posting like that, y'all. I haven't been posting like that because I was dealing with all of this. Like all of this really took a big hit on my mental health. Y'all know last week when y'all see me, or the last time I posted, I think maybe that was like maybe 2 weeks ago, right before I went into surgery. I told y'all I was going into surgery and I was really excited about this. And I've been wanting my boobs done like for the longest. Like I've been wanting my boobs done since college, y'all. So I was so excited about this whole experience. But after this, I promise you, I'm not going under anesthesia. I'm not getting any other work done, maybe dental work in the future. But if they have to put me to sleep, you can forget about it. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Also, y'all know I typically do not name drop in my story times, but a lot of y'all were asking questions about like, who did I go to, da-da-da, and I'm just going to keep it a buck with y'all. I do not recommend this surgery place. So I went to Vixen Plastic Surgery. Also, before we get deep into this video, let me go ahead and address the elephant in the room. Your girl got her hair done and it's tea. It's really, really tea. So let me give y'all a little hair cam. Little hair cam. And the crazy thing about my hair, y'all, I can't even shout the stylist out because this was also ghetto. This was also a very ghetto experience. Like I can't take it from her. The girl did her big one. The hairstylist T, love the braids down, but the professionalism, the cleanliness, it wasn't there. I might give y'all a story time on this hair experience later, but I don't know because my boyfriend said, if you keep doing the same thing and you keep getting scammed and taken advantage of, you the problem. So maybe I am the problem in this situation. I don't know. Y'all let me know if y'all want the story time on what went on with my hair. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give y'all this surgery experience. And at the end of the story time, I'm also going to give y'all tips and the things that I learned during the way. So let's start from the beginning. In January, I started doing a lot of research on Vixen Plastic Surgery. I also want to say this is a very, very popular surgery place. This is not one of those places that's a little hole in the wall. This is not a new place. They've been doing surgery. Like you can type them into TikTok. You can type them in on Instagram. And I believe the page has more than maybe over a 500,000 followers on Instagram. They have a big TikTok account. Dr. Triggs, Dr. Cannon. These are very popular doctors. Expert, like I watch them all the time. I didn't just choose a random place, y'all. I really did, and I did my research. I looked at the bad reviews. I looked at the in-between reviews. I looked at all the reviews. I took the good with the bad. There's no place that you're gonna go and get surgery and it's 100% no negative reviews. Like I looked into stuff and people said that they did have like billing issues with them, and at the time, it made sense to me. Like a lot of people are not sensible. Some of the reviews I seen where people were saying like, oh, they took my money because I wasn't medically cleared for surgery. Now they won't give me my money back. Well, if you're not medically cleared for surgery and you didn't get medically cleared before you paid them your money, I get why they're not giving your money back. You should have made sure everything was good before you gave them your money. So I get the bad reviews, y'all. I didn't start seeing the deleted reviews until I digged a little deeper on TikTok and stuff started going left. So that's when I digged a little deeper. So boom, I paid my deposit thinking I'll have the autonomy to choose my surgery date. But no, y'all, I was wrong. Immediately after I paid my deposit, immediately, like literally, I think 2 days after I paid my deposit, I received this text message from Vixen and they call us dolls. That word is going to be thrown around in this story time so much because that's what they like to say. They like to call us dolls. So I got this message and I'm going to put the message right here, but I'm just going to paraphrase what it said, y'all. Congratulations, doll. You made your deposit. Your surgery date is scheduled for February the 20th. So immediately when I see this, that's a problem, y'all, because my parents were coming into town on February the 20th. So when I see this, I'm like, February the 20th. And then the message goes on to say that you have one opportunity to change your surgery date for free. After you change your surgery date for the second time, you have to pay $500. If you change your surgery date a third time, you have to pay $1,000. If you change your surgery date, I believe for a fourth time, I believe it was between $1,500 and $2,500. I don't remember the exact number, but so on and so on. And I get that wholeheartedly. The problem with that was they gave you 30 days. They gave you 30 days before your surgery in order for you to make any changes. But the problem was when I paid my deposit, I did that on January the 25th. When they set my surgery date up, that was on February the 20th. So how does that make sense? Like, you said I had one opportunity to change my surgery date for free, but I had to do it with outside of a 30-day span, but you didn't give me 30 days. So that was problem number one. And then two, they sent me the contract and it explained everything. It was basically just a whole bunch of post-op information, stuff that I needed to start to do to prepare for my surgery. So I'm going to go ahead and read the initial, not the initial message. I'm gonna put it right here. Y'all can read it. I'm just going to go ahead and put my response, because this was when the foolishness first begun, which is crazy to me because their communication went flat, y'all. Immediately after I sent that money, it was hard to get in contact with them. Prior to me sending my money, homegirl was yappy, yappy. So informative. She was answering, like, literally I was on the phone with them probably, like, I would say 5 times a week, y'all, because if I'm getting my body done and you gonna put me to sleep, I want to make sure I'm in good hands. So if I had any questions about the slightest stuff, like if I seen something on the Clock app on TikTok, I'm calling them. Oh, the girl said on TikTok that this option is available. Do y'all have this payment? Like, y'all, I was literally calling them for like anything, any type of questions that I had. I was contacting their customer service person and they were very informative. They were answering the phones. Like, it was no problems with getting in contact with them. But after I sent the deposit, they went mute. So I went ahead and I texted them this. This is after they told me, like, things to know before you book your surgery. Basically, they told me, oh, they also assigned me a coordinator, y'all. They assigned me a coordinator, and I believe her name was Sandy. And I think they have, of course, they have more than 3 surgeons there, but I went to one of the popular surgeons there, y'all. It was Dr. V. So they assigned me a coordinator, and her name was Sandy. Text them, and I said, I do have a question about the contract. I said, the contract states that I'm allowed to change my surgery date once free of charge as long as it's 30 days before the scheduled date. My mother is coming into town on February the 20th. Is it a way I can move my date up by 2 to 3 days? So I called the number and reached out, but didn't get any response back from Sandy. When my concern is I'm allowed to change my surgery date free of charge as long as it's at least 30 days before the scheduled date. However, my surgery was just set for February the 20th, which means I'm giving exactly 30 days, leaving no real window to make adjustments without penalty. Given that the policy states the first change is free, I want to confirm that I can still reschedule my date without any additional fees, since I'm requesting the change immediately after the date was assigned. Additionally, I want to ensure that the rescheduling won't interfere with lab submissions and deadlines. Then I said, please let me know, like, how to move forward with this situation. So literally I sent them this text message immediately after they sent me over the contract. I read over the contract, and I contacted Sandy because Sandy was the person I was supposed to contact from now on. Sandy didn't answer her phone. I left Sandy a voicemail. I text Sandy. Like, throughout this whole process, y'all, I never, like, who's Sandy? Is it Sandy from SpongeBob? Because I don't know where she at. Is it Sandy that lives under the sea? I got Captain. Like, I haven't heard from Sandy, y'all. The entire time I have not heard from Sandy. So I send them that. I'm leaving them voicemails. I'm calling them back to back. I believe they sent this message in the morning, and then I'm calling like in the afternoon. I'm calling, y'all. I'm literally calling all day, and I haven't heard from anyone. Fast forward to the next day, they don't call me back, which is really odd because typically when I would call them prior to me getting my little deposit money, they would be answering the phone, they would be picking up, or if they didn't answer the phone, then they would call me back because, you know, they seen it was my name or whatever. But they text me the next day and they was like, no problem. Let me see. I'll put the exact message up here, y'all. But they basically said something along the lines of, no problem, love. What date would you want? Like, what's your new surgery date or whatever? So I end up telling them the date that I wanted was, I want to say, I told them the date was like 3. It was like, maybe, what was the date? I don't recall exactly what the date was, y'all, but I told them I wanted like a date that was like 4 days after the initial date that they gave me. So maybe it was like February the 24th, because my mother was coming to town. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to push my surgery date back too much because I had travel plans and things of that sort. We end up getting that taken care of. That was the first little red flag. Like, how y'all gonna send me a contract saying I have one time to change my surgery date and I have to do it outside of 30 days before my surgery, but then y'all only gave me 25 days. Like, you're contradicting yourself in your contract. That don't even make sense. They didn't even apologize for that mix up. They didn't even address that. I was like, maybe this is a setup how they get people to, like, legally, if somebody wanted to change their date and they was taking them to court and they tried to keep their deposit, this is how they get them. So you can't legally, you wouldn't be able to take them to court because you signed a contract agreeing to this, although they didn't even give you the full 30 days. But y'all, I digress. That happened. The communication went a little flat. I was going in between, y'all. Like, I was wanting a D cup, then I wanted a C cup, and then at some cup I wanted a B cup. Like, I was literally just going back and forth with myself. I didn't really know what I want, so I would call them probably, I want to say, after I sent my deposit, I probably called them 2 times a week just to make sure they had like my labs and stuff, and then just to make sure they were in communication with my primary doctor. I would call them, and like I said, anytime I would call them, y'all, they would be like, oh, your coordinator is not available. The coordinator for Dr. V is not available. I'll give you a call back, or I'll relay the message. No one would follow up. Like, I would have to call them and fax stuff to them like 3 to 4 times. Like, prior to me sending my deposit money, communication was tea, but all of a sudden y'all are mute. Fast forward, let's go up until my surgery date. Fast forward, they end up pushing my surgery back to, I want to say, to March the 19th. So pre-op date was March the 19th. Surgery date was actually March the 20th. And post-op date was March the 21st. And then a week after that, I was supposed to have a follow-up with Vincent. Fast forward to my surgery date, y'all, my pre-op date. It's March the 19th. I go ahead and book a one-way ticket to Miami, and then I also bring my man with me. Another thing, y'all, I didn't know that I was able to like just go into surgery by myself. I thought I had to have somebody there to sign off saying that they're my caregiver. I told y'all before, I have been to surgery places with plenty of my friends in the past, and in order for them to even get surgery, you have to have a caregiver. You have to have somebody sign off. They won't even accept you at places that my friends went to. They won't even accept you if you don't have a caregiver. So I was thinking that Vixen operated in the same way, y'all, but no, literally when you go into their office, there's a sign on the door that says no companion. This is just literally not the surgery room, not behind the walls. This is just literally like the general lobby area. It literally says no companions, and then it says like no phones, no cameras beyond this point or whatever. I go there, and when I get there, y'all, the first thing I notice is there ain't nowhere for me or my man to sit. Like, literally, there's girls, like, you would thought it was an assembly line for people to get their body done. You would have thought that they had them. What's them little conveyor belts? That's how many girls was in there. There was girls all outside the door. There was girls everywhere. There probably was about 20 chairs, maybe about 15 to 20 chairs in there, and all the chairs was filled, and there was also people standing up. So I go up there, I put my name down, and I say I'm here for my pre-op. They're like, okay, take a seat, we'll be with you in a moment. And I'm listening to some of the conversation that the girls are having, and they're talking about like how they had been there since 10 a.m. And when I got there, y'all, it was like 3 p.m. I'm like, damn, you was scheduled for surgery at 10 a.m. and it's 3 p.m. and you still here. So I just started talking to the girls, and I'm like, I thought that at this office that they weren't allowed to do more than 3 surgeries a day. Like, that was the limit for each surgeon at this office. So the girl looks at me, and she's like, I didn't hear that. I heard they were allowed to do a maximum of 10 surgeries a day. Who's your doctor? So I'm like, oh, my doctor is Dr. V. And she was like, well, I'm doing Dr. Cannon. I'm doing Dr. Trish. Like, they basically just all talking about who their doctor was. I'm like, damn, so nobody in here is with my doctor or whatever. So I'm like, okay, that's weird, because like I said, I did extensive research on the place that I went, and that was one of the things that I read online, that they have a minimum of three clients that they could do a day just to make sure the surgeons are not overexerting themselves. So when I said that to her, she said it was 10, but y'all, that day I counted in the lobby, it was more than 10 girls getting their body done. It was like so many girls in there. So I'm like, okay, That's weird. Fast forward, I end up meeting the doctor, and the doctor is very personal. That's I'm gonna say throughout this whole experience, I want to say the most professional person was the surgeon. Like, he was very professional. He was very personable. He was a real doctor. Like, I didn't go in there with unrealistic expectations. Like, he talked to me like I was a real person. I told him what I wanted. He was just like, nah, we can't do that. I initially told him that I wanted a B cup, and he was like looking at my frame. He marked my body up, and he was like, Asia, if I give you a B cup, you're not going to have any sensitivity in your boob. It's a 99% chance that you won't be able to breastfeed. You're young. You haven't had any kids. So I'm going to give you what I think you need. And he said was a C cup. He said he can do a C cup, but he really couldn't make any promises. It's not 100%, y'all. When you go into surgery, they tell you, if you read the contract, it tells you 100% that you can ask for something, but they're not going to be able to deliver on it. And you're signing a contract saying that, you know, it's a possibility that you may not get something that you want, or one boob may be bigger than the other one, or you might have complications and it's not on them. Like, he explained all of that to me. He was honest. We went through my contract. He looked at my body. He told me what he can do, what he couldn't do. He gave me advice, because at first I was thinking, like, why do I need, because some people, when they get boob lift, sometimes they get saline or silicone in their boobs. He was telling me if I got that, I would need to come back in 5 years and my titties would be sagged. Like, he was just giving me all the information, y'all. The doctor made me feel very comfortable. We had conversations like outside of that, about outside of surgery. I felt really good at my post-op appointment up until the narcotic situation. Let's go ahead and get into that debacle. And I'm gonna take 100%. I'm gonna take 100% accountability. This was on me, y'all. They wanted me to take a pregnancy test, and they wanted me to take a narcotic test. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all. Prior to me getting surgery, like 2 days prior to me going in for my pre-op, I was in Japan for about 2 weeks, and your girl was having a little too much fun. I was having a little, like, I was outside just a little too much, y'all. And I smoke shisha. And y'all know shisha is like smoking 1,001 cigarettes, but I literally was not thinking that. I was just having too much of a good time in Japan, and it completely slipped my mind. And I'm not a smoker. Like, I'm the person that got to pee in cups for my friends when they have interviews and stuff like that. Like, I wasn't even thinking about it, y'all. I went to go take my urine sample. And when I went to the bathroom, that's another thing I want to say. This is a Hispanic, a Cuban office. Everybody in the office was Cuban. My surgeon, he's from America, but he has Cuban descent. Like, his parents are from Cuba. It's a lot of the girls also in the office could not speak English, which was another problem, but we gonna get there. She takes me to the bathroom. She tells me to pee in this cup, and I go to the toilet, y'all, and I turn around and I see her behind me, and I'm like, what you doing? And she's like, oh, I have to be in here with you, mommy, to make sure your pee is your pee. And I chuckled, like, I laughed. I'm like, like, I don't got nothing to worry about. Like, I'm that friend that pee in cups for friends. Like, I don't even be outside like that. I don't smoke, y'all. I'm not a smoker. I'll do it casually, but I do not smoke. So I go ahead and I pee in the cup. Immediately after I pee in the cup, I knew something was wrong, because the way she looked at me. And I'm like, I was thinking I was pregnant. I'm not even gonna lie, y'all, because y'all heard those stories where you go to get your body done, and that's how you find that you're pregnant, or you end up going to the hospital, and that's how you find that you're pregnant for another incident. So I was thinking crazy. Like, she was looking at my the test results, and she was like, Asia, do you smoke? I'm like, no. She's like, Asia, do you be around people that smoke? I'm like, no. She's like, Asia, your tests came back that you got nicotine in your system. You know you can't get surgery with nicotine in your system. And y'all, I literally had one of those "that's so Raven" moments. I'm like, my eyes got big as hell. I'm like, oh my gosh, I smoked 3 days ago. Like, literally, y'all, the last night that I was in Tokyo, I had a hookah. And the crazy thing was, the hookah didn't even pull like that. I probably had about 2 pulls of hookah, and I had nicotine in my system. So immediately after that, I'm now, like, I wasn't mad. It was just was what it was. I had to take responsibility. If I wasn't going to be able to get my surgery due to, you know, the ramifications that I made, the choices that I made, then that's what it's going to be. So I asked her, I'm like, keep it a buck with me. Do you think by tomorrow I'll be able to flush the rest of the nicotine out of my system? She's like, yeah, a couple girls have had THC in their system, and they went to GNC and they took a nicotine cleanse, and they was fine. They were good. I'm like, I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to pay, because at this point, y'all, I had not yet paid for my surgery in full, and I'm so happy that I did. Like, I feel like God do things for a reason. I didn't pay for my surgery yet, so I'm just like, all right, if I got nicotine in my system, then I could just restart this process when I'm good, when I'm clear. Of course, I would have wasted money on hotel rentals and just being in Miami in general, but it's okay. So she looks at me and she's like, yeah, I think you should drink a whole bunch of water. Like, don't dilute your pee too much, but drink water. Just drink a whole bunch of water. Go get the detox cleanse. Maybe take 2 of them, and I think you'll be good. And then, you know, she had me feeling a little confident, y'all. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and go through with it. I'm here. I'm not going to reschedule my surgery, because mind you, if I was to reschedule my surgery, I was going to have to pay an additional $500. So I leave my appointment, and immediately from the, that's another thing, y'all. Don't set like appointments. Like, it's like they'll tell you, they told me to come from my pre-op appointment they told me to come at 2 p.m. or they told me to come no later than 2 p.m. and I came right before 2 p.m. but I didn't get seen until like maybe 5 p.m. and then I left out at 6 p.m. Like, that's just how the office operate, and that's how people's surgery time was. Like, I was talking to girls and just listening to conversations in the office. They told people to come for their surgery in the morning, and the people are not being seen till like 3 and 4 p.m. I'm like, that's a little odd. I didn't know that was everybody's situation. Hold on, y'all. My best friend calling me. Okay, then. Okay. But anyway, yeah. So I peeped or whatever. As soon as I left the place, I left the surgery place, Vixen, at 6 p.m. and I went straight to GNC, and I'm downing, y'all. Y'all know I wanted to be cleared bad, because I paid, I think, like $40 for a 16-ounce nicotine detox drink. I drunk that. I drunk a 1.5 gallons of water. I literally drunk water to the, y'all, I look pregnant. I look 6 months pregnant. That's how much water I drank. I was literally peeing every 20 minutes. Like, literally, I was peeing like 2-3 times in an hour. That's how much water I drank. But a part of me is already kind of thinking, like, I don't know. Like, I don't think I'm getting surgery today. Like, I feel like this was a sign. Like, it was a sign that I had that nicotine in my system. Nonetheless, y'all, they end up texting me later on that night. I want to say they probably They texted me around like 6 or 7 o'clock confirming what time I had to come in for surgery. They told me I had to come in at 6 p.m. and Vixen office, their hours of operation are from 9 to 6 p.m. So I'm like, damn, that's a little late. But at the same time, y'all, I wasn't mad at it, because why? I had to get that nicotine out of my system. So I'm thinking, yeah, this is more time for me to dilute my system and go ahead and just flush out any nicotine that was still in my system. So the next morning comes, and it's around maybe like 9, or I want to say 9 to 10 p.m. I go ahead and give Vixen a call, and they had already told me that I have to pay cash because I'm waiting to pay the day of. I already was going to pay cash, y'all, but I like to build my credit, y'all. I don't even, like, throughout the months, I do not use my debit card. I don't use my debit card ever. I always use my credit card. I put everything on my credit card, and I make like little payments throughout the month. Like, I make like 3-4 payments throughout the month, and that's what's been like skyrocketing my credit. So I was just like, damn, if I'm gonna pay $5K to get my boobs done cash, I might as well put it on my credit card. Although they had already told me I was supposed to pay cash, I just called just to make sure, because like I said, I would speak to multiple people at their office, y'all, and what one person told you, another person could tell you something different. So I just wanted to check and make sure. So the day of my surgery, I called them. And I'm like, hey, they already told me that I needed to pay cash, but I wanted to know if I would be able to come in and put it on my credit card. So she was like, no, mommy, it's the day of your surgery. You can't pay card. You have to pay cash. I'm like, okay, I was just calling to make sure. And she was like, also, Asia, before you hang up, can you come in for your surgery at 3 p.m. instead of 6? I'm like, okay, 3 p.m. Somebody told me to come at 6. Are you sure? She's like, yeah, just come in at 3 p.m. I'm like, okay. Mind you, y'all, when I called her, it was between like 9 and 10. Also, when they sent me the confirmation for my my surgery time to come in, because I didn't know it up until maybe, I want to say 15 hours before. That's when I actually found out what time I was coming in for surgery. Okay. And I also want to put the message that they put up here. What does it say? Okay, this is the message that they sent me. Good afternoon. We're reaching out from Vixen Plastic Surgery to confirm your arrival time for your procedure. You must arrive tomorrow at 6 p.m. Please follow the request below. Do not eat or drink anything after 9 a.m. tonight. If you do have your medication with you tomorrow, if you don't have your medication with you tomorrow, your surgery will be canceled. You must shower with antibacterial soap tonight and tomorrow and before coming in to surgery. Please do not urinate before coming into the office. Please no jewelry, no makeup, no fake nails, no nail polish, and no tampons. They give me the address. They said, please don't be late to your surgery appointment. If you are, your surgery will be canceled and you will have to pay a fee of $1,000 to reschedule for the next day. Available, no companions allowed due to COVID-19. Y'all, COVID-19 was like 20 years ago. Let's be for real. I digress. They said, also make sure you turn your labs in and you are cleared for surgery. Please confirm once you have received this message or you will not be on the surgery list. If you do not have your medication with your surgery will be canceled. They were really adamant and strict on if you don't have your medication before surgery canceled. If you are late to your appointment, if you're not here 15 minutes before your appointment, surgery be canceled. If surgery is canceled, you are responsible to pay an additional $1,000. So keep this in mind. They initially scheduled me at 6. I confirmed, and then they switched it up that morning. Whoever I spoke to on the phone, they switched it up to 3 p.m. So I'm like, okay, cool, I could do that, but I was a little worried because, mind you, I still had nicotine in my system, y'all. So at this point, just due to all the professionalism, the back and forth, I decided to just go on Google and just read over reviews, y'all. I was literally reading over reviews that I've read before, but it just so happened that somebody put a review on there 2 days ago, and I didn't check the Google reviews in about a week. So somebody put a review up there stating that, I don't know if the review is still there because I'm certain, well, let me just say, because I don't want to get sued. What's the word? This is my experience. And allegedly somebody put a review on there saying that they had nicotine, they had drugs, I don't know if it was nicotine, y'all, but they obviously tested positive for narcotics in their system and they paid $2,500 to get it cleared, to basically get their surgery. And they told me that if you have drugs in your system, nicotine in your system, and you go in for surgery, it's gonna delay your incisions from closing. Like your body is not gonna want to close. Like we can sew you up and it's not gonna close if you have drugs in your system. But somebody just put a review on there that they told her if she paid an additional $2,500, they'll clear her for surgery. She's medically cleared. So I'm like, that's unethical. That's dangerous. That's suspicious. So I read this and I'm like, okay, they didn't tell me that at my post-op appointment. My pre-op appointment. They didn't tell me that, but I thought that was weird. Ultimately, the girl left a very long review. I did not screenshot it, y'all, but I'll go back on Google, and if I see it, I'll put it in here. She said that, and then she also stated ultimately she did not want to go forth with it, so they did not give her back her money. So she essentially paid for her surgery, and they would not give her back her money because she didn't want to pay an additional, I think it was going to be an additional $1,000 to reschedule, and she didn't want to pay that. So keep that in mind. Fast forward, I'm going about my day as regular, y'all. Mind you, I'm not eating. I'm just drinking water or whatever because they said I can't eat anything from I think it was like, they told me 12 p.m. But in the text message, that's another thing. Nothing would ever align, y'all. In the text message, they put don't eat anything after 9 p.m. a day before surgery. So I get a text message, y'all, and I'm going to go ahead and read the text message verbatim. It says, this is at 12 o'clock. This is at 12 o'clock. This is 2 hours after I was on the phone with them. They said, dear doll, because that's what they like to call us. Dear doll, please be here at 2 p.m. for clearance and for the balance. I text them back. I said, hi, someone told me to be there at 3 p.m. ? I'm headed to the bank now and I will come afterwards. My doctor also sent the clearance from yesterday and I need to get my urine retested again because I had in my system from yesterday. So she never texted me back. They never called. They never text back after that. That was at 12 o'clock. Y'all know I'm black. Y'all, I run on by people's time. I was indeed not going to the bank yet at 12 o'clock. I don't know what I was doing. Y'all. I think I was out. Y'all know how Miami traffic be. I don't know, y'all. I wasn't there yet. Fast forward to 1 p.m. This was 12:30. Maybe this is 12:13. Maybe I made it out the hotel by 1 p.m. I go ahead and go to the bank. I'm at the bank and I'm trying to get the money. My surgery was in total $5,000 and I paid a deposit of $250, and I also paid for like my surgical bras. I paid for one surgical bra with them, which was $40. So I'm getting all the money, and at the bank they tell me that the system locked. Like, I tried to get it from the teller. The teller said he was only able to give me $1,000, and then from the ATM inside of Chase I was able to pull out $3K. So I'm missing $1K, and I'm trying to deal with that or whatever. I get a call from Vincent, and they're like, hey, are you going to be here by 2 p.m.? And I said 2 p.m. Somebody told me to be here at 3 p.m. at 10 o'clock this morning. Like, this is the second time y'all changed my surgery time. Mind you, y'all, in the back of my mind, they keep saying if you're late for surgery, if you're not there 15 minutes before, your surgery will be canceled and you would have to pay your you'll have to pay for your rescheduling fee. And keep in mind, Dr. V, my doctor, he was going out of town for the day after my surgery. The day after my surgery, he was going out of town. Like, he flew out to go on I think he said a ski trip with his son. So I wasn't going to be able to see, if I had to reschedule my surgery, it wasn't going to be the next day, y'all. It would have had to been like maybe the following week, maybe like 2 weeks later, because I don't know how long he was going to be on that ski trip. So I'm on the phone and I'm just like, hey, I'm at the bank right now. I'm trying to get the money out. When I'm done handling like business and getting everything, that's when I will come. So she's like, okay, you need to make it here before 2, okay? So like, what do I say? I'm like, okay. And now I'm annoyed, y'all, because somebody else from another number, but from Vincent again. Hey, doll, are you going to be here by 2 p.m.? If you're not here by 2 p.m., your surgery will be rescheduled and canceled. No, your surgery will be canceled and have to be rescheduled. Is this a joke? Because I just texted somebody from the other number and told them that you told me to be there by 3. Now y'all so adamant and fixated on 2 p.m. So I call. No answer, y'all. I call again. Somebody answers. And they're like, hey, I don't know who told you need to be here by 3 p.m., but we need you here by 2 p.m. I said, it should be on the books that my surgery was initially scheduled for 6 p.m. It's not my fault that y'all rescheduled my surgery. She's like, yeah, I completely understand that, but you need to be here by 2 p.m. So now I'm anxious. I'm kind of annoyed. My boyfriend ended up giving me the additional $1K. We leave the bank. It's literally 11:58. A third person from another number. Hey, are you in the office? Are you here? Your surgery is scheduled for 2 p.m. We need to get you to book billing. Mind you, y'all, I told the first person that if I'm not medically cleared, like if I still have nicotine in my system, I'm not paying, because I did a lot of research and I read online. If you're not medically cleared because of something you did, they can take your money and they're not obligated to refund you. Like, they don't even do refunds in general, y'all. So I knew not to pay without them telling me I didn't have nicotine in my system, because that would have been on me and I would have had to eat that. So, again, when that person texts me, I'm literally probably like 5 minutes away from the office at this point. So I don't even say anything. Or no, I'm lying. I was actually there, y'all, but I had to come up the elevator. So I said, yes, I'm here, because I was almost there. So as I'm walking up, y'all, there's a girl. I don't know if she's one of the coordinators. I don't know if she's a nurse, but I'm literally walking right in behind her, and she looks at her phone and she yells out loud and she's like, where is Asia? Where's Asia? Where is she? And I'm like, I'm right here. And I'm literally walking behind her. She's like, come on. Let's get you to billing. Let's get me to billing. I'm not going to billing until I'm medically clear. Y'all are not about to take my money and then tell me, haha, you thought. No, I need to go to billing. So I'm like, no, I need to go to make sure I'm medically clear. So I'm like, no, I'm supposed to retake my urine sample. She's like, oh yeah. Come on. So she hands me off to another girl, and this girl, I didn't have any interactions with her before. The girl that I was dealing with on my surgery date, it was a different girl that I was dealing with from my pre-op date, but I did see her, and like she gave me paperwork, and she basically worked at the front desk at Vincent, y'all. So she hands me off to this other girl. This other girl, English, poquito, baby. She don't really speak no English, but we gonna talk about it. So I go ahead and go to the bathroom, y'all, and it's the same thing. They have to watch me urinate to make sure I'm there. Like, literally, it's like all eyes on my kuka. Like, they literally wash you, and it's just like, you think I'm away. I know my tatas are big, but you really think I'm gonna take somebody else's urine out, put it in a... No, I would never. So she's watching me down. I do my thing, and I pee. I give her my urine, and like I said, y'all, I was peeing every 20 minutes because I was so, like, I had so much water in me. I feel like my pee was diluted. It was literally clear. So I was kind of worried about that they was gonna have to do a blood sample. So I'm like, I don't think I have enough pee. She's like, she's speaking in Spanish, y'all. She's like, oh, like, it's enough, y'all. She takes the thing, she puts the test in there, and now I know how to read the test, because yesterday I had one line when I was negative. And of course, I know how to read a pregnancy test. 2 lines, you pregnant. 1 line, you still got a life to live. Nah, I'm playing, y'all. So she does that or whatever. And I'm looking at the test because I'm so anxious. I'm thinking like, damn, like, is this whole trip a waste? Like, I'm just thinking like, it's a possibility that I'm not going to be able to get my surgery done. So I see it, and it has 1 line on it. So immediately I'm just like, all right, you know, I made the decision. If I can't get my surgery, that's on me. I got to eat that. So I ask her, I'm like, is it negative? She's like, yes, negative. Well, she said, sí, negatividad. I don't know how to say negative in Spanish. She says that, y'all. And I'm like, are you sure? I see 1 line. 1 line means that it's positive. I'm like, are you sure? And then she started speaking full-blown Spanish to me, y'all. Like, she don't understand nothing that I'm saying. And I'm just like, wait, you was just comprehending earlier. You was just understanding. Now all of a sudden I'm asking questions. Are you sure? And you don't speak English anymore. So she just looks so puzzled and so confused. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna ask the other girl once I get out of here. I clean myself up, wash my hands, and the other girl immediately, like, I could barely like step out the door. She's like, come on, let's go to billing. Let's go to billing. So I'm like, was my test negative? She's like, yeah, your test was negative. You're good. And I'm like, I saw 1 line. She's like, oh no, 1 line. That's the pregnancy test. You're not pregnant. That's the negative that's the pregnancy test. I'm like, I saw 1 line on like both of the tests or whatever, because the test, it's like a script, y'all, and it tests for multiple things. But I made sure I looked where I was looking, y'all. So she's like, yeah. So at this point, I'm thinking they trying to set me up. I'm thinking that I'm really negative. I mean, I'm really positive, but they telling me I'm not, just because I'm about to pay in cash. They want me to pay. And then they going to hit me with the, oh, sorry, we got to redo your test. And then it's going to show positive all of a sudden. And then that's going to be on me. And then I'm going to have to pay the additional $1,000. You know, I thought they were trying to set me up, y'all. So I asked a third person, even though this person didn't have anything to do with anything, y'all, because she worked in billing. But she took me over to the girl that worked in billing, counted out the money, gave her the money. And I even asked her, because I had my paperwork with me. I was like, do you see... the last girl handed my paperwork off to billing. So I was like, do you see that my test says negative? Because I tested positive for nicotine yesterday. And she was like, well, what did they tell you? I said, they told me that it was negative. Then she was like, then it's negative. So I was like, okay, this is a third person. 2 in English have told me that it was negative. So it's negative. So I'm like, okay, let me just chill. She's like, yeah, calm down. You're good. Blah, blah, blah. Tells me to step out. She goes in the vault. She puts my money through the money counter, gives me my change, y'all. And she tells me to go wait. So I go back to the main lobby, and I'm with the rest of the girls, and I'm talking to the girls. I'm asking them how long they've been there. It's the same thing, y'all. Their surgery, you can tell who's getting surgery because they have on, like, they tell you to basically, like, no jewelry, hair. They had their hair in bonnets. They have, like, robes and stuff on. So it's like 5 girls in there, and they're waiting for surgery. And the girl is in there with her mama, and they complaining about how long they've been there. They're hungry. They're like, dang, when am I going in? You know, people's family members are in there. At this time, my man is in there with me. I let him know that I paid. They said I was negative. Everything is good. I go ahead and change into my surgical stuff because I'm cleared for surgery, y'all. So I'm waiting. And by this point, I want to say, because mind you, I got there at 2. It's about to be 3 o'clock, y'all. And I go to the front and I ask the coordinator, and I'm like, hey, what time am I starting my surgery? Because y'all told me to be here at 2. I'm here at 2. I'm medically cleared. I'm billing cleared. What time am I going in for surgery? So she's like, oh, you're going into surgery at 4:30. I'm like, oh, okay. You know, it's around basically 3 now. Like, okay, I just got to wait about an hour and a half, 2 hours. No worries. So I'm waiting, y'all. I end up falling asleep on my man. I wake up and I'm like, babe, why you didn't wake me up? Did they call my name? He was like, no, they didn't call your name. Y'all, it's 5 o'clock. Why y'all didn't call my name? Y'all told me that I was going into surgery at 4:30. So again, I still see the same people that was scheduled for surgery with different doctors though. Different doctors, because I'm nosy, y'all. I was asking everybody who their doctor was. Nobody told me that they had Dr. V. So fast forward, another hour goes by. It's 6 o'clock. She calls me back. She's like, Asia, come on. Like, we can finally start your post-op. I mean, not your post-op. We can start your procedure or whatever. I go meet with Dr. V again. Dr. V and this nurse practitioner, they're in there again. I take off my clothes. I change into like the little surgical gown. I put on surgical panties. He marks my body up. We go over again. I try to be a little itty bitty titty girl again, y'all. I'm like, I was thinking I want a B cup. He was like, Asia, stop playing. I already told you getting a C cup. You're gonna get what I give you, basically. That's what he told me. And then he marked me up and told me what to expect. We went over the contract again. Not extensively, y'all. We basically just went over that boobs, they're sisters. They're not twins. They're not identical. They're sisters. We talked about that, and he made me feel very comfortable, y'all. And at this time, I do want to say they did not allow you, like, once you go behind the door that's beyond the lobby, you're not allowed to have any cell phones back there. They even tell you the day of surgery, no purses, no personal items, no phones. And they tell you that because you're coming out of anesthesia. They don't want to be responsible for your belongings. They say leave all of that with your caregiver. Leave that outside of these doors. They tell you not to bring any phone or anything back there. I don't remember what exactly I said, but I just remember Dr. V looking at the time, and he was like, yeah, I told you. Oh, this was the first thing I asked the doctor when I seen him, because I wanted to make sure that you wasn't tired, because it's 6 o'clock. So I'm thinking like, oh, I'm the last person to be seen today. So I'm like, how you feeling? Like, you feeling good? You tired? He's like, no, I feel great. Today was a light day. I feel great. I'm like, yay, I'm about to look. The girls are about to be sitting. The girls about to look great. He feel great. When you feel good, you do good work. So I'm like, yay, okay, he feels great. And then he's like, I told you I was going to see you around this time. It's 6 o'clock. He looks at his phone. I don't have my phone, y'all. I'm sitting across from him. Again, we go through basically everything we did on my pre-op date. We do that again. He asked me if I had any questions. Any questions I had, he answered. And then he said anesthesia will be in here in a little bit. So I'm like, we're on a roll. Like, we're getting ready to start. Negative. Okay, y'all. So I'm sitting in there. I'm waiting. The same lady that took my urine earlier, the one that didn't really speak English that well, she comes in the room and she's like, pee in a cup, basically. She tells me to pee in a cup. I'm in a surgical room, y'all. And I'm like, why do I need to pee in a cup? You did this already. You did this. She's like, nicotine test? You did that? Yes, ma'am. See, you did this already. So then she goes to look at her paperwork. She's flipping. She's like, oh, okay. So now I'm confused, y'all, because I'm like, damn, why are you trying to give me this test for the second time? I did this test with you. Why are you giving me this test again? So it goes back to what I was thinking before. I really wasn't medically cleared. I'm still thinking like I have nicotine in my system, because why are y'all trying to make me retest? So that happens or whatever. Fast forward, a lady comes in with the IV, and it said it was like sodium chloride, basically to hydrate me, y'all. They put an IV in my arm, and I'm asking her questions like, oh, what is this for? She's like, yeah, we just want to make sure you're hydrated. Mind y'all, remember I told you I kept peeing every 20 minutes. Like, I was so hydrated. Like, my pee was clear, y'all. My pee was clear. It was given Fifi Island. Like, my pee was really clear. Like, you can almost drink my pee. That's how clear my pee was. So I didn't think I needed an IV, but they tested my vitals and stuff. They know what I need. So I let her put it in my arm, and I'm just in the surgical room in this recliner chair, and I'm just sitting there. And I'm sitting there. The doctor comes, and I want to say at this time, because mind you, when I talked to the doctor, when I first see him, it's 6 p.m. Now it's 7 p.m. because I can see there's a window in this room. So I can see that the sun is starting to set. It's 7 p.m. now. So the doctor comes, and he's like, how are you feeling? Is it cold in here? I'm like, yes, I'm cold. They turn on a little heater. They give me a blanket and everything, y'all, because I don't have on anything but the little, it's like a paper surgical gown, y'all. So I'm freezing. So he gives me that, and I'm still waiting, y'all. I'm literally just looking at a wall. By this point, when I went back there, mind you, I went back at 6 o'clock. It's 7 o'clock. They told my boyfriend that typically for a procedure, the procedure I was getting done, it takes about 2 to 3 hours. And they was going to call him 45 minutes before I was getting out of surgery just to make sure he's there. So I'm sitting there or whatever, and I'm waiting. And I want to say about 8 o'clock, because at this point, I look outside. It's pitch black dark, y'all. So another lady comes in the room. She has that same little cup. She tells me to pee in this cup. I'm like, is that the drug test and the pregnancy test? She's like, yeah. I'm like, I already took that. Can you look at my paperwork? You don't see on my paperwork that I already took that? So now it's in my mind, I'm thinking like maybe they got me on this IV for so long. Because at this point, y'all, I had been on the IV for about an hour. Mind you, the doctor told me when he left me that anesthesia was coming to get me. Like I was about to go into surgery. So why is a third person coming to give me this test again? So I didn't want to retake the test, y'all, because I felt like they was trying to set me up. I felt like the test was going to say that I was positive and they was going to be like, oh, we can't do your surgery. And I already done gave them my 5Gs. So then I was going to have to pay that fee. And I just wasn't trying to be set up, y'all. So I'm like, can you look at my paperwork, please? It doesn't say that it's negative. Like, why y'all keep trying to give me this? She's like, oh, you're medically cleared? I'm like, yes, I was been medically cleared at 2. Like, I've been medically cleared. So she's like, oh, okay, I see it here. And she leaves. So mind you, y'all, I'm sitting in this room. I don't have no phone. It's cold. So I go to sleep. And I want to say I'm like in and out of sleep. I wake up, I'm back, I'm asleep. Every once in a while, there's nurses. They'll like open my door and make sure I'm okay. And then like I'm asleep, y'all. I open my eye and they leave in the room or whatever. So at this point, y'all, it's about 9 o'clock. It's 9 o'clock. And I wake up out of my sleep and I have to pee. And I still have this IV in my arm. And another thing, y'all, there was a young child like running around during the day. It was a young child, like he was about 7 years old. He was running around I was in a surgical room. The room said that they were surgical rooms, y'all, but it wasn't the actual room that they do surgeries in. It was like the pre-op room or whatever, where they like mark you up or whatever. It was a little 7-year-old running around. So I really couldn't move well because I had an IV in my arm. And then I didn't have on no clothes, and y'all know how the hospital gowns are. They're open in the back. So I needed to like hold my dress clothes, and I also needed to like move the IV thing to be able to go to the bathroom, but I couldn't do both. So I didn't want to it was really difficult for me to like walk with y'all know what the IV thing looked like. It was difficult for me to walk with that or whatever, although it was on wheels. So it was also really quiet, y'all. So I opened the surgical door and I knock on the surgical room next to me because I felt like I heard people in there talking, but nothing. Like the room just went mute. So I'm like, okay. But then again, it's uncomfortable for me to walk. And like I said, y'all, my butt is exposed. So I didn't want to, I don't know if the little boy was, I didn't know what was going on. So I waited right there. I'm waiting there. And I'm standing in the damn hallway looking goofy as hell, y'all. Like I got the IV in my arm. I got my hand trying to cover my backside up. And I'm just standing there. I stood there for 10 minutes. All of a sudden, Dr. V, my surgeon, he comes out the room next to me, like 2 doors down from me. He looked like he seen a ghost. He's like, I'm like, I have to use the bathroom, y'all. The man seemed startled, like he didn't expect to see me. And he honestly looked like he had just woke up or he had just ate. Like he looked very comfy. Like I don't know, y'all. Like before he came out the room, because he came out like walking like this, y'all. He was yawning. And then he saw me and he was like, is everything okay? I'm like, I need to go to the bathroom. He's like, yeah, come on. He pulls the IV thing. The bathroom is like 2 doors down. He takes me to the bathroom. He tells me to lock the bathroom door. I go ahead and do my business. I pee. Immediately when I get out the bathroom, he was like, I made you a pallet. Like I put a blanket there. Are you good? Do we need to turn the heat up? So at that point, I'm like, this man is trying to make sure I'm comfy. I'm nice and comfy. I knew I wasn't going into surgery no time soon, y'all. So at that point, I'm like, when is anesthesia coming? He's like, yeah, anesthesia, they're coming. So I'm like, okay. And then I was in a recliner chair and I had one blanket on me already, y'all. He made a little pallet. He put another blanket on there and he reclined the chair back even more. And then he turned the heat up, and then I told him like, I'm warm, I'm good. And he said that anesthesia was coming. So I'm like, okay. Then y'all, at that point, I'm literally just thinking about my boyfriend, my family. I'm like, damn, I don't have my phone. They should have, I don't know why at that time I didn't ask them to like contact my family to like make sure they knew what was going on. I honestly just thought it was like something that should have just went unsaid. Like, I don't know, y'all. So I'm sitting in the room and I'm thinking like, damn, maybe there was complications with the person that was before me, or maybe the surgeon. That's what I was thinking prior. But when I seen the surgeon, he's out. So maybe he was asleep. I don't know what he was doing, y'all. But the whole thing was just weird. So I'm in the room and I'm still sitting there with the IV in my arm. I end up dozing off because, again, that's how long it took for anesthesia to come. By the time anesthesia comes, it's about 10 o'clock, y'all. They wake me up from my nap. And y'all probably think like, Asia, how you know the time? Y'all, I'm looking out the window. I know the time. Because y'all know 6 o'clock is bright. The sun is up. 7, the sun is starting to set. 8 is like blackish blue outside. 9, 10 o'clock, pitch black dark. Like, it's dark. So I knew what time it was. So she comes, she grabs me, she takes me to the surgery room. And literally, I asked her, I was like, are you going to take the IV out of me? Because my blood was like getting mixed up. I can see my blood going up the IV during how long I had it on. I had it on my arm for about 2 to 3 hours, y'all. So I was like, are you going to take this out? She's like, no, you're going to keep this on for surgery. So y'all, I'm still thinking they were like trying to flush my system out. I don't know what it was, y'all. So, I just remember them putting something over my face, and obviously, they put me to sleep, and I woke up. I just remember like laying on the surgical bed, and then they put something over my face and I was out literally like that. Like, it was literally like I talked to someone for like a minute. They walked me there. That's another thing, y'all. When they walked me to the surgery room, there was so many people. Like, there were so many people still inside this place. And mind you, at this time, it's 10 o'clock at night. The office closed at 6. So I'm like, damn, y'all operating at this time? Y'all doing people's surgery this late? I thought that was very peculiar. So, okay, I'm asleep. Y'all know they slicing and dicing me. They cutting your girl up. I just remember waking up in agony, y'all. I woke up in a wheelchair, and I was just so cold. Like, my teeth was just, y'all, teeth, cold, freezing. I'm shivering. And it's pitch black dark outside, and the lady is putting me into my boyfriend's rental. And I just happened to see the time. And I'm like, it's the next day? Why is it dark outside? Y'all, I'm confused as hell. I'm like, it's the next day. He's like, no, Asia, it's 12:30. Like, it's past midnight. He's like, I've been worried sick. He said he was calling the office every hour. He said my mama, y'all, he was thinking that they had done sliced and diced me and sold my organs because nobody communicated anything. Nobody told him anything. He said my parents were calling him every hour. Like, she ain't out of surgery. You haven't heard anything? Nothing. Finito. They didn't say, not, that's finished. Y'all know what I mean. Nothing. Nada. Di nada. Nothing at all, y'all. They didn't hear anything at all. He said that he had been in the parking lot since 6 p.m. He seen when everybody left out and left or whatever. And I told him, I just recall seeing a whole bunch of people still inside. And it was like, they have like a customer service, like a call center. So I'm like, is the call center inside the center? Because I do remember when I passed this room, when I was going into surgery, it was like people on the phone. It was computers. It was a whole bunch of people. And there was like a whole lot going on or whatever. So I'm out of surgery. We go back to the hotel. I take my Percocets and my other medication, y'all. I'm just very uncomfortable. Like, right out of surgery, my pain tolerance was very, very low. I was very uncomfortable. The next day, I had my follow-up appointment. And when I went to my follow-up appointment, y'all, again, the same thing. Like, so many girls lined up in there. Go to the post-op area, and I'm talking to the girls. Like, everyone's really friendly and sociable. I'm asking them what they got done. They asked me what I got done. I'm asking them, like, how they do it, because I felt like, I know people be getting BBLs, like, they gonna sell. Like, people be getting BBLs so much, and I did consider not getting a BBL, because just it's there. I would consider getting liposuction, y'all. But I would never, after this experience, I would never go under, if it's not medically necessary, like I need to get it done, I would never get anything done again, y'all. Even when I'm there at my office, they told me my boyfriend, he could not accompany me. Like, I'm under hard drugs. I'm not going to be able to recall and remember everything. I wanted the nurse to, you know, allow my boyfriend to be there so he can give me, so he can, you know, hear the information that they're telling me how I need to, like, take care of myself or whatever. So I asked her if I can record the conversation. My post-op appointment was about 7 minutes long, y'all, because I recorded the entire conversation. You know, she's just basically telling me when I could take a shower, what I need to eat, what I need to wear, when I need to come back. She's just giving me all the information. Not one time did she ever mention anything about me needing to count how much blood that I'm losing. Like, I had drains in both of my boobs, y'all. Now, once they stated, when I was on TikTok, I would notice, and I'm not gonna lie, during my post-op appointment, it was a lot of things that I just forgot. Like, my brain just draw a blank, y'all. It was a lot of things that I forgot to mention. I had a lot of questions, but when I got to my appointment on the medication, I was just I don't know, y'all. I was just tired, fatigued, I was just drowsy, y'all. I didn't think of anything. I couldn't really think of anything. I don't remember asking a lot of questions. The only thing I asked is about when I can use, like, the silicone tape. I remember listening to the video back, y'all. But anyway, they basically told me I need to come back in a week to get my my drains removed. My man is calling me. Hold on, y'all. Hello? Hello? Babe, I'm recording. I'm gonna call you back. All right, love you. Okay, so fast forward, y'all. After my appointment, no follow-up, no text, no how you doing, no checkup, no nothing. They don't do any of that. None of that, y'all. None of that. Remember, like I told y'all, prior to me paying my deposit, the communication was great. But after that, they didn't follow up with anything. So after my post-op appointment, I was in Miami for about 3 days, and then I planned on spending the rest of my recovery until my follow-up appointment to get my drains removed in Ocala. Ocala is about 3 hours from Miami. My boyfriend drives me all the way to my parents' house, and I end up doing my recovery there. And the biggest thing I really want y'all to take away from this video is when you go to get surgery, the most important thing, honestly, is more important than the surgeon you choose, is your post-op care people. Whoever gonna take care of you, make sure you choose the right person. Because when I say I had to had to cut people off, yeah, I really did. I literally went through a lot. Like, I really went through a lot. This whole thing, beyond them being unprofessional, beyond my family not knowing what's going on, beyond them changing the dates, changing the times, like, beyond all of that, whoever you got as your caregiver, that's the most important thing, honestly and truly. I don't know if I'm gonna give y'all the story time about what happened with that. If I do, I'll probably put it on Patreon. And also, little interlude, if you want my Patreon, I'm sorry, because I really abandoned y'all over there. Like I said, this whole surgery thing and just me traveling a lot, it really took a toll on my mental health, y'all. I was down bad. It's other things that happened among this that I can't really discuss here. I'll probably feel more comfortable talking about it on Patreon, which I do want to give y'all that story time because it is very much tea about people that I had to cut off during this experience, because that was honestly bigger than the whole experience, to be honest. Like, of course, they was unprofessional, and it was disheartening that they didn't. Let me finish the story time. I'm gonna just say, just subscribe to my Patreon. I did lower my Patreon amount to, I think I'm at like $6 or $7. I lowered the amount, y'all, because I was not showing up for myself. But like I said, I was going through a lot mentally, and I shared a little bit with y'all on there already. But back to the story time. I'm in Ocala. I'm with my peoples. I'm with my peoples for a week. My parents, they drive me all the way back to Miami because I cannot fly, y'all. It really kills me that I cannot fly, because I will pay for convenience every single time, but I could not fly. Okay, y'all, so my camera ended up dying, and I don't know where I stopped at, but I'm gonna just jump in. So I think I last told y'all that it was leading up to my follow-up appointment. I was going back to Miami just to get my drains removed, which I was really ecstatic about, because I read a lot of research online, And people were saying that once you get your drains removed, you feel like a person again. You feel like yourself. You can move. You can do stuff, y'all. Having the drains in, for me, my experience, it hurt so bad. It was so uncomfortable. I don't know. It just made everything 10 times harder for me. Like, for me to even tie my shoe, it would take me like 5 to 10 minutes. You should be able to tie your shoe with your eye closed after the age of 5. But y'all, I could not do that. Everything was just such a task. My abs were hurt really bad. Y'all, TMI, but to poop, girl, y'all, like, it was just bad. It was really, really bad. But anyway, leading up for me to get the drains removed, I went on a 6-hour road trip with my parents because I think I told y'all I live 3 hours. No, Orlando is like 3 hours from Miami. But where my people from, we live 6 hours from Miami. So my parents, we drove to Miami. And when I got there, y'all, I went to the post-op room, and it was a whole bunch of girls in there. Again, the same thing, whole bunch of girls in there getting ready to get surgery. There was nobody at the front desk, so I'm kind of just waiting around. I'm like, how long y'all been here? And they like, oh, we're waiting to get our massages. We've been here for about an hour or whatever. Like, we still waiting. So I'm like, okay, cool. So a lady comes, and I'm like, hey, I'm here to see the post-op nurse for Dr. V because I'm getting my drains removed. She looks at me, and she's like, Asia, you're getting your drains removed? Big eyes. Big eyes. I said, yeah, I'm getting my drains removed today. She's like, oh, okay, 1 moment. Okay. 1 moment. I wait. Then the lady that took my urine test, the first lady that ever took my urine test, she comes and she's like, who told you to come today? I'm like, multiple people told me to come on Wednesday. Mind you, y'all, throughout the time when I was in Ocala with my family, I had spoke to the office several times because they first wanted me to come to Miami on Monday first to get my surgical tape removed. And then they wanted me to come back on Wednesday to get my drains removed. And that's a lot of back and forth. I'm not from Miami. So I was like, can I just combine the trips, or can I go to my family primary doctor to have them remove it, and I'll send y'all pictures? Went to my primary care doctor to get it's not my primary care doctor, it's like my family primary care doctor. I got my surgical tape removed. The doctor told me everything looked good. I took pictures and I sent it to the surgeon in Miami upon their request. They requested it, y'all. No one followed up after I sent it. They just asked. They was like, send it to this number. After I sent my titties to that number, then another person texted me saying, hey, send it here. And then after I sent it, nobody followed up about anything. Like, it was just the oddest thing. Why ask for nudes and you're not gonna say I look good? Like, at least reply and say I look sexy. Say, tell me something. Like, don't get my nudes and go mute. Like, don't do that. So fast forward, I'm at the appointment, y'all. Another lady comes and she's kind of like saying, like, who told you to come today? And I'm like, I spoke to multiple people. I never spoke to my coordinator. Sandy, that's the ghost. I don't even know if she exists, y'all. Never heard from her. But I spoke to multiple coordinators, multiple people at the reception desk, and they confirmed that they had me down to come get my drains removed. So she looked at my boobs, y'all, and she was like, Asia, we cannot remove your drains today, because if we remove your drains today, you would possibly build up fluid and be hospitalized because your incisions will open back up. So I said, I'm not mad that I'm not able to get my drains removed. Like, I'm not going to try to force y'all to remove my drains if they're not ready to be removed. But this should have been explained. She was like, how much blood are you using? I said, no one ever told me. Like, when I'm not going to lie, y'all, when I was watching TikTok videos, I kept saying to myself, I'm like, damn, it's a lot of stuff people will tell you on TikTok, and then you will go ask a professional, you will ask your doctor, and the doctor will be like, no, we don't recommend doing that. People were putting surgical tape on their wounds before their incisions even closed. That was what people were seeing on TikTok. And I would go back and say, hey, they said this on TikTok. They're like, no, we don't recommend doing that until about 3 months after surgery. So although I did see a bunch of people measuring how much blood that they were losing after they got their breast reduction, and they were writing it down, I did question myself multiple times. I said to my mother, I said to my cousin, I'm like, damn, I see them doing this. They didn't tell me to do that. They didn't give me no measuring cup. And she was like, yes, you were supposed to be calculating how much blood you was losing, and you can't get your drains removed until you lose less than 25 cc's of blood within a 48-hour period. So she changed my drains for me, cleaned them out. They prescribed me antibiotics because they said that it looked like I had a sign of getting like a blood clot in one boob, because my blood was like very, like basically darker than a cherry, y'all. It was like Blackbeard, like very dark, like you could barely see through my blood. And then in my right boob, you can see like everything was good. So they did that, and the appointment, the post-op follow-up appointment, it honestly took like 20 minutes. Before she came in and spoke to me and told me all of that, she left out to go get drains to like replace the drains or whatever. And this Hispanic photographer came in. He's like, I'm the videographer, I'm the photographer for Vixen. So before this, prior to her telling me that I wasn't getting my drains removed, he asked me if I wanted to do, like, can you take pictures of my boobs? I'm like, yeah, you can take pictures. You can do that. Free promo. You could do that. And then he was just talking to me, asking me like about my booms, and I was talking to him. Y'all, we were really, he didn't even speak English well, y'all. It was hilarious because I was literally on, that's what another thing. I wish I would have had my phone back there. I did not have my phone back there, y'all. I was using his phone to Google Translate or whatever. So we going back and forth or whatever, and he's just I'm asking him like, it's crazy. All you do is take pictures of like ass and titties all day. Like, I'm telling him that. He's like, yeah, I'm used to it. Like, it doesn't scare me anymore. Like, we just going back and forth, y'all. And then he told me once she was done with me, he was gonna like come back or whatever. But once she told me, y'all, when I say I was irate, I was so mad, y'all. I wasn't hostile or mad at her. It was the fact that they should have told me, like, this was a waste of a trip. Like, I paid for a hotel. I got my parents a rental. Like, you could have told me that I needed to measure. She was like, yeah, before you was discharged at your first post-op appointment, they were supposed to tell you this. I said, I recorded the conversation. And that was never said. That was never told. Like, they did give me a paper, which I didn't read over everything after the fact, y'all, because I'm drugged up. Like, it was really hard for me to like focus. I was like in so much pain that I didn't read over any of that stuff, basically giving me insight on like the side effects of my medication, the purpose of my medication, just all the post-op care, y'all. They did give me that in a letter, but I didn't read that. She should have told me that before I was discharged. So the girl just kept apologizing. She's like, I'm sorry, but you can't. But y'all, I completely forgot to tell y'all what happened before she came back in the room and removed my drains. Remember how I told y'all about the videographer that could not speak English? He came back in the room after she just told me I drove 6 hours for no reason. Like, I wasn't getting my drains removed. When he came back in the room, he was like, let's do. Like, are you ready? Are you ready? And I'm thinking, like, ready for what? Ready to be further bamboozled? Like, these people literally just told me I drove 6 hours for no reason. And you come in here with this Colgate smile, smiling big, putting a mic on me, y'all, before I can even react and say anything to him. Because, mind you, he did not speak English well. So I was doing Google Translate with him. But he puts the mic on me. And I'm just like, no testimonial. Y'all know no is no in every language. So I'm like, no testimonial. He was like, are you ready? Like, basically motioning me to like pose. And I'm like, do you want me to tell them people that y'all are chop shop? He like, chop shop? CC, chop shop. And I'm just like, no. So I pulled the mic off of me. I give him the mic. And then he was like, no. And I'm like, no. And then he's like, you do great. Like, smile, you do great. No, sir. No. I'm not doing it. But y'all, it was so funny because he didn't know what was going on. Like, right before he walked in the room, I was getting ready to flip that whole table upside down. And then he walked in there cheesing. Like, sir, please, this is not the time today. Like, I know I told him, yeah, I would do pictures, but a whole testimonial, like, you put a mic on me. Be so for real. We'll send you a letter to give to your primary doctor back in Houston, and she'll be able to take your drains out for you, which that's what ended up happening. When I got back home, I did drain less than 25 cc's, so I was able to get my drains removed, and that did help. I'm actually currently, I'm 10 days post-op. Today is the what? I think I'm going to post this video today. Today is the 30th, and I had my surgery on the 20th. Yeah. Oh, yeah, on the 20th, y'all. So I'm 10 days post-op, and I feel good. I'm back to me, y'all. I'm starting to feel like myself. I had to get my hair done to feel like myself again. Your girl was just going through it, but that was pretty much the story time on my surgery experience. If anybody is planning on going to Miami to get surgery, I don't even want to say do your research, because you can do your research and then something can still happen. Like, I don't know. this whole situation was crazy, but I'm not even mad at more so the office. I'm really frustrated about what happened after, like with me just being home and just mentally, y'all. I was stressed. I was very, very stressed. It was definitely not a walk in the park, because I told y'all that I had been caretakers for other friends that got surgery done, and they popped up in 3 days. They walking, they fine and grandy. But y'all, mentally, like not physically, because after, I want to say after day 4, the pain was like a 5 out of 10, 4 out of 10. It wasn't bad. It really wasn't bad at all. But mentally, like mentally, it just took a toll on my mental. I literally was not happy, y'all. I could not be happy. Like, yeah, it was a lot. If y'all have any questions, I'm still going to post the vlog and, you know, talk about my experience or whatever, but I do not recommend the place, the doctor. As far as I can see, y'all, he did phenomenal work. I don't think y'all will be able to tell because I still have a lot of swelling. Y'all can let me know if y'all can tell, but these are the girls. I like them. I like the surgeon because he was very personable. Like he was real with me. He was very transparent, y'all. He told me he wasn't one of those doctors, because you know how some doctors, girls be saying, I want my booty to look this big. I want it to be astronomical, like out of this world big. And they do it. And they walk around looking like ants. But he's not that type of doctor. He was the type of doctor that was just like, I know what you want. I hear you, but I'm not going to give it to you. And this is why I'm not going to give it to you. So I respect the doctor, love him down, but everybody else can go below the ground. Okay. I'm joking, y'all. Yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And if y'all do want any other story times, or if y'all have any questions about anything, I will answer them, because I probably left out a lot of details. It was so many like red flags and so many things going on, y'all. And today was the day I finally stopped taking my medication, or I just finished my medication. So I'm getting back to me. Okay. So if y'all have any questions, just let your girl know. And then it's crazy because I feel like after you experience something, all these videos on TikTok, they keep popping up about Miami plastic surgery places feeling like a chop shop. And I thought I was going to have a different experience because this spot is very, very popular. They have great reviews. So that's why I'm convinced that they delete reviews. And I did go back on Google, and there was a lot of crazy reviews, like new reviews from even a day ago. But the one view that I seen in particular about the girl saying that they told her if she paid an additional $2,500, although she technically was not medically cleared, that review is not on their Yelp anymore. So they, what's the word? Allegedly, they delete reviews. Mwah. Love y'all. See y'all in my next video. Peace.